In a quiet valley, nestled behind silver hills, lay a small village where the nights were dark, but always full of hope. High above this village lived a tiny fairy named Mary. She wasn't known for flying fast or for casting loud, flashy spells. No, Mary possessed a much rarer and gentler gift. She could turn tears into stars. Mary made her home inside an old willow tree that glowed softly after sunset. Every evening, she would fly over the village, her small lantern lighting the way. She listened carefully, not with her ears, but with her heart. Whenever someone cried with true sadness, Mary felt a warm pull, like a soft whisper calling her name. One night, a little boy named Oliver sat outside his house, wiping his eyes. His beloved dog had run away, and his heart felt heavy with loss. Mary floated down silently and caught one of Oliver's falling tears in her hands. The tear shimmered like a tiny glass bead. Mary whispered a kind spell, and suddenly, the tear rose into the sky and transformed into a tiny star. It twinkled gently, as if offering a smile from above. Oliver looked up, and though he didn't know why, a little bit of hope warmed his chest. Word of this strange comfort spread through the village, even though no one had ever seen Mary clearly. People simply noticed that after their hardest nights, new stars would appear in the sky. Even the old stars seemed to shine brighter, as if they were listening in. Mary's magic, you see, worked only on honest tears. Tears of anger or pretense would simply fade away, but tears born from loneliness, love, or loss became the brightest stars of all. Each one carried a small piece of a person's pain, turning their sadness into light for others to see. Then one evening, the sky stayed dark. Not a single new star appeared. A knot of worry tightened in Mary's tiny chest. She flew lower than she ever had before and found a girl named Mira sitting alone by the river. Mira wasn't crying. Her eyes were dry, but her heart was overflowing with a silent sadness. She had taught herself to hide her tears, believing that no one cared enough to notice them. Mary hovered near Mira and simply waited. Long minutes passed. Then slowly, one single tear escaped and slipped down Mira's cheek. Mary caught it, but something felt different. This tear was heavy, almost too heavy for her to lift. She tried her spell, whispering the familiar words, but nothing happened. For the very first time, Mary felt afraid. Her magic wasn't enough. So, Mary did something she had never done before. She sat down beside Mira and placed a tiny, glowing hand on the girl's heart. She didn't use magic. She just listened. Mira began to whisper her fears into the night, the fear of being forgotten, of being utterly alone, of never being able to shine. As she spoke, more tears began to fall. This time, Mary didn't turn them into stars right away. She let Mira cry until her chest felt lighter, until the weight of her hidden sorrow was finally released. Then, Mary gathered all the tears together and whispered a new kind of spell, one made from pure kindness instead of just magic. The sky above them burst with light. A whole constellation appeared at once, brighter than any star the village had ever seen. The stars formed a gentle shape, like a pair of open arms reaching down. Mira looked up and for the first time in a long while, she smiled through her tears. She felt seen. From that night on, Mary learned something incredibly important. Tears weren't just for turning into stars. They were messages from the heart. Sometimes people needed light to guide them, but sometimes what they needed most was simply to be heard. Mary changed the way she used her gift. She started leaving tiny, twinkling stars on windowsills, on pillows, and by doorways, small, beautiful reminders that sadness could become something beautiful. The villagers still never saw Mary clearly, but they felt her presence everywhere. They began to cry more freely, fearing their tears less. Children would point at the night sky, making wishes on stars that were once tears of their neighbors and friends. High above the valley, the night sky grew fuller and warmer with each passing night. Each star told a story of its own. And Mary, the fairy who could turn tears into stars, kept flying gently through the dark, turning pain into light, and reminding the world that even our sadness can learn to shine. Thanks for watching.